Don't spend a lot of time or effort becoming mediocre at something that you're bad at or hate to do. Hire somebody or partner with somebody who's really good at that. And that might even mean that if a technical person has a golden idea, they may not always want to be the CEO for the long term. But whatever it is, complement everybody's skill and build a team. And I think we were talking beforehand that the largest, or the most common denominator, I should say, of success today is always attributed to people by each of our panelists this morning, and that certainly jives with my experience. And finally, create several exit options by making your business model attractive to others. Those would be strategic acquirers, high-quality private equity firms, perhaps an ESOP or management buyout. But think ahead to how you're going to get out. As the driver of a large 18-wheeler might say, never pull into an alley unless you know how you're going to get out. Those are my thoughts. Thank you.
Thanks, Russ. Paul?
My name is Paula McNichols. I'm the other half of the McNichols pair here. And I think one of the things we're going to discuss was risk and measured risk. But I was a risk taker from the beginning because I came to CASE in 1961. There were 6 girls in my class of 600 and only 2 of them of 300 graduated. That's a risk.
When you married me in the middle of your senior year, that was a heck of a risk. That was the biggest risk.
And I followed that succession by going on to Wharton as an MBA. There were 6 girls in my class of 600 because that was not a common thing to do either. But to me, what I am is part of a partnership that took the bright idea and the business sense and made success as entrepreneurs. And he will tell you that. We continue to try different things, and we continue to introduce that factor of risk in our life in many ways. And I'd love to talk about it, but there's nothing to do with entrepreneurship, so that's for me.
My name is Jenny Wang. First, I just want to say a few words about my background. For the last 34 years, I have worked in a very fast-moving, highly competitive industry. Half the time worked with corporate America, and the other half we founded 3 startup businesses. Our work primarily engaged in the international business operations, also serve on the worldwide manufacturing sector, as well as technology services. I recall when I joined the first job, coming from the straight schooling from kindergarten to PhD, never taken any of the work in between. I was very fresh and innocent and naive. So on my first job with Lockheed Martin Corporation, at the time Martin Marietta, I really learned a lot. I think if I have to mention what I learned the most at the time, I remember that was the 1970s. And it's really how to formulate a concussion and in how to handle myself in the male environment. By balancing the core competencies, the knowledge, capability, and also the people skills, and just being a woman. So that was really the thing learned at the very beginning when I entered the workforce. I also dedicated part of my time, some of my time, to serve on the corporate boards, both the public traded and also the private company, and also the nonprofit organizations, and also try to serve on the national committees limited to 2 each year, so I have the time to do it and to really make some of the effort and the contributions. Another slice of time, I really advocate to writing and speaking. Wrote several textbooks in leading technologies used worldwide, and also still serving as a columnist for 2 trade magazines for more than 10 years. If I had to mention one of the most enriching aspects of my work for the last 34 years, it is the opportunity of interacting with diverse groups of people in both the business and the technology arenas. Across national borders, this made me a multi-million mile frequent flyer. As well as my education, for my education, I educated both in science and engineering. First, certainly very appreciate the Case Engineering School. That's my last degree of 4 academic degrees. Now, gets to this two very important topics. One is I call the capital E, big E, that's entrepreneur. The other is a big I, which is innovation. Both are very important for any country. As we all know, entrepreneurship has been one of the key elements for U.S. economy, and also is very important aspect to the industrialization of developing countries as well, as we can see very well for the last 20 years how the developing countries are building up their national economy. I see the entrepreneurship in a little broader aspect, not just to say to build up start up a business. I think entrepreneurship is really add value. So if you are able to add value, if you even the corporations can use in the university can use some entrepreneurship as well. So in addition to we look at conventionally, traditionally, we build a business that's an entrepreneur. Certainly that is definitely is, but I think it can be used widely in any organizations. It can be used as one characteristic of a person as well, and a characteristic of organization, whether this organization or this person has entrepreneurship in operation and also in handling their work. Being entrepreneur, back to the business side of being entrepreneur, there is a different set of characteristics really required in order to be successful. If we compare entrepreneurs with working with corporations or established institutions, I look at the really pro and cons. There is, from the personal experience, you work with the corporations, you always feel there's an umbrella, which can really shelter some of the rains and storms from time to time. And however, being an entrepreneur, at least from at the beginning, 3 years or maybe 5 or even longer, you don't have that shelter. So basically, you really rely on yourself, and a lot of attributes of being an entrepreneur will come into play. And most important, of course, I think the advantage of being an entrepreneur is really the efficiency and agility. It's how I always personally feel. Corporate, I don't mean the corporation cannot be effective, but some corporations may not be as effective as can be. And so being an entrepreneur, you really have control on that. So we can, we'll talk about many other things. I'm sure all the experts, will talk a lot about that. Let me get into the innovation. Just a couple of words about the innovation. Innovation is not a one-time act. It is a process. Innovation also is a journey. It's a going through. It's not just something you innovate and then that's it. So it's really the journey of what one's supposed to do, being innovative. And of course, being innovative is one of the part of a requirement, perhaps, for the entrepreneur as well. You have to be reasonable innovative. And innovation, not limited to technology. Of course, technology is very important. We have to be innovative in the technology arena, but it can be innovative in anything outside the technology area as well. So let me stop here and we'll yield to Walter.